Welcome back to Tilo's Fitness. And today I'm just chilling. I'm laying in bed. So I apologize for the casual approach. But today I wanted to just talk about a little bit about Chris Jones. I followed Chris Jones from the time that he was POG, Physiques of Greatness, with Vince G. If you guys remember all the way back to then. I'm assuming if you're watching this video, you know who Chris Jones is. And I remember when he used to say, no hippie, you know what. And he wasn't into that hippie stuff, and he wasn't into yoga. And he completely was just concentrated and focused on his physique. Well, now, and I think I even had a few messages back and forth with him. This was early on when he was saying he's never going to have any kids. And I told him, because he's younger than me, I said, you're going to grow up one day and you're going to realize that Denise is a good woman and she's going to want kids. And you might end up wanting kids as you mature and get older. And he said, no, I never want kids. Well, look at him now. He's got a kid. And he might even be, try for another one. So, with the recent turn of events, I know that Chris has kind of ventured off into being a little bit more religious, being a little bit more conscious about the decisions that he makes. And I know that he came out publicly and admitted to different things he was doing, recreational drugs, cheating, all different kinds of things. And honestly, it takes a big person to own up and say those things online, because everyone's going to crucify you. And he did it anyway to clear his conscience. And I know he also had that one guy on his channel, oh dang it, I forgot his name, Connor Murphy. Super popular YouTuber, just used to walk up to girls with his shirt off and used to let them touch his abs and all kinds of stuff. But both of them now have kind of gone on this religious, spiritual, Buddhist journey to enlightenment. And I've seen people in the comment section calling Chris out, saying, I thought you wasn't into that hippie stuff, and I thought you didn't like this and you didn't like that. And they're expecting him to be the same person that he was 10 years ago, 10 years ago. And guys, I just want to say, you have to allow him room to grow. I mean, if you're the same person 8 to 10 years ago, or even 20 years ago that you are now, all that shows is that you haven't grown and you haven't matured. So the fact that Chris now understands that there's a little bit more to life than just your physical appearance, and that, there's more out there and there's more to think about, especially now that he has a child. It kind of changes the way that you look at the world, the way that you look at things. You have to give him room to grow, and you might not be in the same place that he is, but just understand people grow at different rates, and you have to give him space to become the new version of himself, and maybe a better version. Maybe it's not. I don't know yet. But I do know that from the comments that people say and the things he responds to, people are feeling like he's gone crazy. And I'm here to say he has not gone crazy. He is just waking up to the truth. And I'm not necessarily talking about a religious truth, but I am talking about a spiritual truth, to the fact that he knows that the money can come and it can go tomorrow. He realizes that family and being honest with yourself is more important. And I think he's trying to tell his subscribers that, but all of them are not on board. They're not all in the same headspace that he is in. And I know that he's been kind of going over the top with dismissing people and calling them cooks and all kinds of stuff. But that's just his way of getting around all of the hate and all of the things that people have been saying to him and saying about him because he's on this new journey. If you've noticed, it doesn't matter if it's Chris Jones, Connor Murphy on this new spiritual enlightenment. Mike Rashid has done the same thing. He's still talking about fitness and he's still doing his I'm so alpha stuff and all of that. But he's totally been on different podcasts and talking about ayahuasca and having these trips and being in a totally different mental space than he was before. And they're not the only ones. There's other people out there in YouTube world that are changing and not being so focused on just the money and just the views and just the girls and just their physique. They're opening up to a different world. And maybe you should too. Maybe they are in the know in a way that you are not. One thing that will open your mind up to different things is when you've got the money. Mike Rashid has obviously made a lot of money. So is Chris Jones from YouTube and from their merch and other things. When you've made a lot of money and you've got your family and you've done all of this stuff and you've lived your dreams and you've got your dream car, at that point, a lot of people still are not happy. And then they're looking to they have to look to something else. And then they start to realize that there's something bigger outside of themselves that they can explore in a whole spiritual world that they never looked at before. Because both Chris and Mike were kind of not really into that stuff at all. And it's interesting to see their growth and where they're going. So, I just want to say, give them some leeway. Don't think that they're crazy. Don't think that Connor Murphy is crazy. Maybe he had a little bit of a mental break, but there's a lot of pressure for those guys being super popular YouTubers. And especially Connor losing his hair and his physique going down, I guess because he came off of the enhancing drugs and all the other stuff. You know, it's hard for them to break away from being attached to the physique because that's what made them popular in the first place. Even though it's going to wither away and it's not going to last forever anyway. But you let me know what you think. Is Chris Jones now a hippie? Is he soft? Has he completely changed? Has he betrayed his fans because he's gone back on some of the things that he said he wouldn't do? Do you expect a 24, 25-year-old to think the same way as a 35, 36-year-old who now has a family, now has a girlfriend or a wife and kids? Of course they're not going to think the same way. If you think that, wait till you get to that age and then tell me if you're still believing the same nonsense that you believed when you was a kid. It's not going to happen unless you mentally slow down or don't grow. So let me know what you think. Tell me, is he crazy? Do you believe that he's on this spiritual enlightened path? And should we keep supporting him? Peace.